Hello everybody, welcome to the Conduits channel and another Twin Flame Tarot reading. I am very happy to be here to do this for you today, and I hope you guys are doing well. I really enjoy doing these tarot readings for you, and I hope you enjoy watching them. If you are watching this reading, it is because you have met someone who you are experiencing some strange and odd experiences that have never happened to you before in life or in relationships. And I think the things that you're experiencing, we can very easily say are beyond just weird. They're really, really weird, like Twilight Zone weird stuff, right? So it's probably causing you to question your own sanity because you're coming across all kinds of synchronicities, spiritual experiences, maybe even experiencing telepathy. You got obsessive thinking over someone. In your otherwise normal life and normal relationships, this one is nothing like you've ever experienced before, and it is making you feel like you're going absolutely bonkers. And there is a reason for that. We do talk about this in one-on-ones. We're going to make some videos about it. And eventually we'll have some other options available for you to kind of learn a little bit more about the journey that you experience with your twin flame. But there is a reason for it, and it's part of the ascension process. It's the waking up, it's the getting the sleep out of your eyes, it's the grogginess that comes along with it. Up until now, you were kind of living your life according to the way that the world and your parents and everyone around you, friends, family, the media, the social conditioning, the way that it told you that you're supposed to live your life, and you were staying within those lines as best as you could. But this spiritual awakening process that takes place, not for everyone the same, but for people who do experience a catalytic experience with someone that they feel is their twin flame, they're going to experience it a little differently. So this is the purpose of meeting them, just so you know, is to go through this awakening. Really, that's the reason that they have come into your life and exited your life. It's all part of the design, and for each and every one of us, it's going to be a little bit unique and a little bit different. It's not going to be the same. So it's going to be difficult for you as you try to navigate your way through all of the twin flame content that you find, because some of it's going to resonate and some of it's not going to resonate. You're going to be like, wait a second, that doesn't match, but that does. And it's going to cause you to question and doubt yourself even more. I'd like for you to know that, again, that's actually all part of the design of this awakening as well. And it's because you're meant to go within for answers. And if answers were out here and easily, something that we could find in this labyrinth of life, then nobody would have questions. Nobody would be seeking anything. And the problem is that we're not taught in this world to go within for the answers. And that is where you're going to find your answers, Divine Feminine. You're not going to find them through the Divine Masculine. You're not going to find them through books. You're not going to find them through people like me, through tarot readings especially, because as much as I love the tarot cards themselves, the tarot cards are kind of an indication that you're looking outside for answers. Now, some of us that meet our twin flames, we've never even watched tarot before, and then all of a sudden we meet our twin flames and we're obsessively watching tarot readings. That's actually one of the signs that you've met your twin flame. Is I'd say the majority of people that meet their twin flame have never even watched a tarot reading before. They weren't even spiritual people in that kind of a way. Maybe they were religious, maybe they were spiritual, but not like this twin flame journey wakes you up to. But anyway, the answers are inside of you. And that's why I would like to say, though, just to be clear, it gets confusing because say you're reading a book and you come across something, or you're talking to someone and synchronistically you get an answer. Well, that is an answer, but the truth of the matter is the book was only a conduit, right? A conduit to help you find the answer within you. So the book, the part of the book that resonated with you, that gave you the answer that you were seeking, is just a conduit to help you find the answer that's already in you. If the rest of the book didn't resonate, it's because the rest of the book wasn't in you. It wasn't part of that. But you're going to be connecting the dots along your journey that are going to help you figure out what this whole thing of life is, right? So there's a lot of trust that goes into it. There's a lot of believing in yourself, which is something that many of us are not used to doing because a lot of us have trauma and poor self-esteem. And so we're always looking outside of ourselves because we don't trust ourselves, and it's partially because we've been told not to trust ourselves. So what you need to do is really, really trust yourself, Divine Feminine. Really trust and believe in who you are. Trust the journey to unfold as it's meant to. Trust that things are happening as they're meant to. And trust that when you have experiences and the answers just kind of come from you, that's you, that those answers are coming from inside of you. You're the one guiding this whole process, even if your mind is there chirping along the way telling you that you're not, and that you're confused, and that everything is messed up, and that the world is falling apart, and that you need to be with this person, and that you can't be happy until then. That's all your mind. That's all your mind. And one of the things you'll find is that we're going to teach a lot on this channel about letting go and detaching from the mind. The mind is always going to be there. You can't get rid of it, just like my hand is going to be here whether I choose to use it or not. The mind is just that. It's just a tool. It's not something that you need to constantly, you need to not identify with it as if it's you, because the mind is part of the programming. So, all right, let's see here. 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck today, and it's in reverse. So 10 of Pentacles in reverse at the bottom of the deck. All right, let's see. Let's get into this reading and find out what is going on in your connection with your Divine Masculine. It appears with 10 of Pentacles in reverse at the bottom of the deck, there is an overall sense and feeling in this reading of loneliness, a feeling of not being understood, a feeling of not knowing where to go to seek help or guidance, or even just a listening ear. Divine Masculine feels very misunderstood, and I think that there is a kind of a mirroring going on, because I think you also feel the exact same way, Divine Feminine. In recent past, Divine Masculine is feeling a lot of frustration. It's a very overwhelming and overpowering feeling in Divine Masculine's life right now. Depression, sadness, feeling misunderstood, feelings of loneliness, not really feeling connected to themselves, and so they don't feel connected to anyone or anything outside of themselves. Divine Masculine might be putting on a bit of a happy face for everyone, but that doesn't mean that they're feeling that way on the inside. And how Divine Masculine is feeling on the inside, whether he's showing it or not, is it's just a very deep feeling of despair for Divine Masculine. In divine masculine's karmic relationship in the past, there's been a feeling of not being willing to commit. They're part of work experiences, they're part of family experiences, they're part of maybe even some kind of a karmic romantic relationship. But with most things in their life, they're only kind of putting one foot in and keeping one foot out. And it's because they feel a strong sense of, there's like a loyalty conflict or something going on that's causing them to feel disconnected. Again, this disconnection is something that's happening within divine masculine. They feel disconnected from themselves, from the truth of who they really are. So they actually feel this emptiness everywhere in life. It's not that everything in life is bad or empty or unfulfilling. It's that you cannot experience those things outside of yourself if what you're experiencing towards yourself is despair and sadness. It's going to reflect on everything outside of you. And it may appear that it's the outside world that's causing divine masculine to feel this way, or this karmic relationship to feel this way. But in actuality, it's divine masculine that is projecting that all over everything in their life. And they just haven't, in the past, been able to see that. Maybe there's some blaming going on, thinking that the rest of that it's the world's fault, and not really understanding that happiness comes from within. Towards you, divine feminine, in the past there was sort of a dualistic experience that divine masculine had with you. On one hand, divine masculine felt like when this connection happened between the two of you, and you started to develop a connection, it was sort of like that void was being filled. The void that divine masculine knew was there, but also didn't recognize, like they had just gotten so used to it. They thought this is just the way life is going to be. All of a sudden, there was this like fresh hope and this new perspective. It brought divine masculine so much joy, which was really, really weird for divine masculine, and they were awkward with it. They didn't really quite know how to process all of these emotions that they were having, and they didn't even know where it came from. If anything, it actually caused them to be kind of like, on the inside they felt it all, but on the outside their actions at first probably really reflected it, but then it created like a deep sense of fear. Because sometimes when we find something that's very precious to us, there's a dualistic experience that we have because it's super precious to us and we love it. Yet at the same time, we could lose it. And if we could lose it, then it also could become scary and frightening and create a lot of anxiety. So love, at least the way we experience it in a romantic sense, can be exhilarating yet terrifying at the same time. And sometimes if we haven't healed who we are on the inside, when we encounter real love, sometimes it can cause us to run away screaming. And that's really essentially what happened with divine masculine. They weren't there yet in their own personal life and development. They needed more time to cook. Recently, though, divine masculine has started to adopt a new look. They've kind of seen and learned some things from the events of their past, and they're seeing that maybe, just maybe, a new outlook, a fresh perspective is what they need. So they're really, really looking at, well, why do I feel the things that I'm feeling, and why do I act the way that I act? This is a good step in divine masculine's path, because that's when we can start creating external changes, is when we make internal changes. And that's what I see happening right now for divine masculine, although it's in the baby phase of that. what I see happening right now in Divine Masculine's karmic situations in life is that there's a letting go of the delusions, the paranoia, the fear, and a little bit of faith is kicking in. And because of that, there's a little bit, and that's happening because of this, right? It's kind of like a domino effect of events and experiences that are accumulating in Divine Masculine's life. And the universe is kind of always nudging us and guiding us in the right direction, even when we don't recognize it. And we're slumbering through life and not really realizing that we're being guided or channeled in a certain direction. But we are, and Divine Masculine is experiencing that. And as a result of letting go of some of these fears and paranoias and having faith, there is kind of a renewed excitement and a like sort of fun-loving, feisty part of Divine Masculine that's always existed and been there, and maybe they experienced it more when they were young, but it's starting to come out of them again. And there's like a more jovial, fun, free-spirited, more light-hearted personality of Divine Masculine surfacing towards other people. And people are noticing it. Kind of like, what's going on, you know? Why are you so happy? And that's actually a really, really good thing. We want Divine Masculine to be happy. I know sometimes for some people, I experienced this myself when I was still going through my own healing. It was like there was a part of me that wanted the twin flame to be unhappy, because if they were unhappy, then maybe like they would realize that they were supposed to be with me. And there's like this whole thing there but that's a sign of an unhealthy perspective. And so sometimes when we're watching these tarot readings, I don't know why, I just feel like I need to say this to somebody right now. Sometimes when we're watching these tarot readings, we want Divine Masculine to be unhappy and to suffer. Because if they're unhappy and they're suffering, then they're not happy with their current situation. And if they're not happy with their current situation, maybe they'll leave that situation, and that will open the door for us to kind of swoop in and be with Divine Masculine, or they're going to want to come back running back to us. But the truth of the matter is that's also an unhealthy perspective. And if you understand the twin flame kind of thing that happens, the polarization of the energy, it's kind of that energy within you, Divine Feminine, that you need to really look at, because it's sort of like the other side of the coin, you know? And it's an unhealthy perspective to want someone else to suffer, even if that means that suffering could open the door to bring them to us. Because what we really need is to let them go and want for them to be happy. Because if we want for them to be happy, and then they're going to heal. And if they're going to heal, we don't want to be with a broken person, right? We already experienced what it's like to be with a broken person. Divine Masculine has been a broken person. And the truth of the matter is, if you've met your twin flame, you were a broken person on some level too. Or you wouldn't be here listening to these readings. So what we really need to want is happiness, fulfillment, healing for Divine Masculine. But before we can want happiness and healing and all that for Divine Masculine, we have to want that for ourselves. And in order to gain that for ourselves, we have to let Divine Masculine go and realize that our happiness doesn't come from things outside of ourselves. It's like the same lesson being taught to them that's being taught to you, but it just isn't going to look the same, right? So the Divine Masculine, you got to let them just kind of go and just trust that the universe is going to do what the universe needs to do for the Divine Masculine. And you do what you need to do for yourself, Divine Feminine, which is want happiness for yourself, regardless of your circumstances. Want joy and love and fulfillment, and recognize that the only time you're ever cut off from that is when you cut yourself off from that through, perspectives and through unhealthy perceptions. And so once you do that, I think you're going to see that Divine Masculine will follow suit, and your lives will build and flow in the direction that they're meant to. And you just have to trust that, because really what it all comes down to is we all just want to be happy. We want to be happy. We want our Divine Masculine to be happy. When we think that our only choice and our only pathway to happiness is through someone else, we're missing the mark. We're looking outside of ourselves rather than looking within ourselves. And that's the whole message of this reading. So not only is it a message for Divine Masculine that they need to stop looking outside and blaming the world for their unhappiness and despair, and realizing that the only time they're going to change that is when they change from themselves. But Divine Feminine, you need to do that too, because Divine Masculine isn't the reason that you're unhappy. Divine Masculine isn't going to bring you happiness. What will bring you happiness is going within and following your own journey, learning to love and to trust yourself regardless of the situations in life. And so I don't know why, but I just felt like I needed to pause that reading right there for a second and just kind of say that, because I feel like some of you, there's someone out there or some of you out there that need to hear that message right now. I want you to remember that these tarot readings are subjective to each person that's listening to them. And you either choose to let them play out as they're being said, or you choose to create your own path. These are only possible scenarios that anything in life gives you, whether it's a tarot reading, a book, or anything. I say abandon the tarot readings and create your own path. That's my personal belief. Again, I love the tarot and what it's designed for. I do believe in synchronicities, and I do believe in like that kind of stuff. But I also know that we are here, and the whole twin flame journey is about recognizing that you are a creator, which means you create your own path. So nothing here is ever something that is set in stone unless you choose to make it something that is set in stone in your path. So with that being said, these two cards show me that Divine Masculine is going to be, there's going to be delays in any kind of a connection between the two of you. Again, more time is needed to cook right now. And it's because the both of you need to go within and really find out, who am I? What is going to bring me joy and happiness? What do I really, really want? You need to go in and rediscover the truth of who you really are. After all, the twin flame, what you really are seeking is what's inside of you. You are the twin flame. You are the soul. And that's just the truth. You are not material form. You are not just physical matter. You are a divine soul that is witnessing physical matter. And that's where I think things are going to be for a little while until that really resonates and makes sense. That's when I think shifts will take place and change. In the future, after this takes place, after this plays itself out, and that's all going to depend on the decisions that you make and Divine Masculine. However, one soul, remember that. Divine Masculine is going to be very much back to that childlike innocence. The weight will be lifted. The heaviness will be lifted, and a beautiful new corridor of just finally feeling peace, finally feeling an inner peace is going to present itself for Divine Masculine. And that's because it's happening for you at this point, Divine Feminine. This card, you see how it's this beautiful woman and she's holding a wand, right? We all know that wands are used in magic, right? So we cast a spell with a wand and things like that, right? We see it in Harry Potter and in all kinds of movies. And some people do these things in real life even. But the truth about the symbolism of the wand is more that you are the creator. You create in every moment of your life with every thought that you choose to follow, not every thought that you have, but every thought you choose to believe and follow and act upon. And the choices that you make, the world will reflect back to you who you are so that you can learn and grow. And so you are the creator of your path. And this woman right here, this feminine, right? Now again, divine masculine, divine feminine in the twin flame dynamic isn't really necessarily male or female in the physical world, right? But it's the energy that we're talking about, the positive polarity and the negative polarity. The divine feminine is the positive polarity. And so this feminine right here has recognized their ability to create the path that they want, and they're smiling and they're happy and they're confident, and they know that they feel good in their ability to be able to create the life that they want. And that is exactly the energy that is going to be there for you, and as a result for your divine masculine as well. All right, in the near future, there is going to be a breakdown in divine masculine's karmic situations, whether it's family, friends, some kind of a working situation, or a karmic relationship of a soulmate. There is going to be a breakup, a severing of a business partnership, maybe a toxic family member, or several will be let go. It really depends on the 3D world situation that divine masculine is experiencing. But there's going to be a breakdown and a severance in maybe multiple areas in divine masculine's life. That is because what no longer resonates with divine masculine in this newfound creator energy is going to have to be let go so that something new can be built. And so that's going to be difficult for divine masculine, and sometimes that can actually cause setbacks, because it's like, you know, in the world around us, sometimes there's a delayed reaction in physical matter. You know, we make inner changes because of everything that we've been experiencing, and then these inner changes create changes on the outside, and sometimes it can seem like, oh my gosh, what's going on, you know, and then we start to freak out, and, you know, we start thinking like, you know, why does my life suck again, you know? But in actuality, it's only happening because sometimes you have to break down something old in order to create something new, and the new energy wants to bring in something new, something that's more of a reflection of the truth of who divine masculine is. And the same thing will be happening for you, and I'm sure already is, divine feminine, because you and divine masculine experience things differently, and you go through this awakening from the moment that, like, you have that flash of I don't even know what to call it, but you know what I'm talking about. When you have that flash of like, oh my gosh, what is this, you know, connection, and all of a sudden everything, it's like the ball starts rolling in that direction, and you start to realize that you're going through an awakening. That starts for you, divine feminine, and you start to become very aware of what is going on, even though it's really confusing at first. So you're going to have noticed already somewhere back in here that things were breaking down for you, right? And now you may be, when this is happening for divine masculine, you may already be in the things are getting better phase, you know, like the world outside of you is really already, well, not may, I know for sure, you will already be experiencing this kind of like, okay, everything is better, you know, embodying like, I know I can create whatever I want. I just got to still let some things go, and it's okay to let things go. That will be something that will seem a little delayed for divine masculine, but that's okay. That's okay. It's happening. It's going to happen. In the future, divine masculine is going to want to come to you and talk to you about everything that they've experienced. They're going to want to explain to you why they acted and behaved the way that they have in the past. They're going to want to give you clarity, and they're also going to be seeking some clarity. And it's because they're going to want to talk to you about the rock bottoms and the difficulties and the weaknesses that they experienced along their way, because they're going to remember you as being kind of a light in the darkness. And so divine masculine is going to reach out and want to talk to you about what's going on. When this happens, if this happens, or however it happens, Remember to stay in your own energy, Divine Feminine. Do not judge the situation. Do not have expectations. Remember to continue to trust your own inner journey. Know that you are already whole and complete on your own, and just let it be whatever it's meant to be. Okay? And don't, go back into the old energy of, this is the only thing that I can have that's going to bring me happiness and joy. Sometimes that can happen when our Divine Masculine comes back into our life. You got to make sure you stay in your own energy and continue forward as this confident, strong, I know what I want and I can create whatever I want, feminine energy. Okay? All right, I'm going to do an oracle card for you guys. And I would love it if you guys would subscribe. We're a newer channel, as you know, and so the subscriptions definitely help. We're going to have so much great content on here coming soon. I've got so many great ideas. Cam has so many great ideas. We have others that are going to be bringing elements that are just going to really, really make a big difference, I think, in all of the experience that you have here at the Conduits, and the knowledge and the support that you'll gain by being a part of this community. We really, really treasure and value your time and your support. And we'll always make sure that we, give back for that. It's definitely a symbiotic relationship between us and you are what makes the community great. So please go ahead and like and subscribe the videos and pass it around to anyone you think that could be that could find value in it. And let's see here. You could also set up one-on-ones with Cam and myself. We'll have a website up soon, but right now on the YouTube channel, we do have our links in the comments, or not the comments, but the description below the video. And they're also on the banner on the YouTube page or in the About section. And so if you'd like to have a one-on-one with either one of us, those are available now. And we appreciate you taking the time to be here with us. I love these cards. They're so cool. Use them for a little while. All my cards seem sticky lately. I think I'm gonna have to try something, because someone once told me that if you put, I think it was like baking soda or baking powder or something on them, that they'll be less sticky. I'm gonna have to try that, because I don't know if it's being in my basement or what that's causing these to like get sticky, but they're just not as cooperative as they used to be. All right, that's all right. It won't affect the card we're meant to have, right? Nothing ever does. Oh, I feel it. Quickly, the thumb wins today. This one. The thumb wins. I like this. All right. There is no such thing as a right to exist. You just are, so be. This is really kind of cool that it came out today, because that's kind of what I ended on. Like, don't ever start to question or underestimate yourself, Divine Feminine. We don't want Divine Masculine to do that either. Again, we want to be whole and complete, and we want the people that are in our lives to be whole and complete, because that's where healthiness, joy, a great connection, trust, all those things are built with, right? If we're broken and our partner's broken, then that's only going to bring us problems. And so we want joy and happiness. And so we don't want to mess with anybody else's abilities for joy and happiness, because that's a reflection that will come back towards us. So we just want to let things be what they are and just trust and have faith in who we are, make sure that we're making the best decisions for ourselves so that we get the best results in our life. And that's going to be a light that is going to shine down on everyone around you. And what a great example you're going to be. So just be, okay? Someone said that to me once, actually, which I thought was kind of cool in a conversation. They texted it to me on like a Facebook post. I posted something, I don't even remember what it was. And they wrote underneath it, just be. And this was before I had an awakening. And I remember being so confused about it. But this is kind of what they meant. Like, don't worry about things. Just be. Just let things just be what they are. And just trust. You know, don't try to control everything. So, all right, Divine Feminine. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really looking forward to talking with any of you or doing another reading and putting out some more content. So until then, take care. We send you our blessings. Bye.